The final debate is now over. Tonight on NewsLink Indiana, a recap of tonight's SGA debate and what's next for voters.
Plus, a popular coffee chain is returning to the Muncie area. We'll tell you where you can get your morning started next.
Guys, we have a winter system on the way, and plus when we can see 60s all in my full forecast.
From the heart of Ball State University, live from the Unified Media Newsroom, NewsLink Indiana starts right now.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for being with us. I'm Zoe DeWiggins.
And I'm Katie McDonald.
Our top story tonight, the Student Government Association just wrapped up the Presidential Town Hall on campus.
Tonight, many students had the chance to ask their questions for each of the three presidential candidates. NewsLink Indiana's Marley Thomas is live tonight with a recap of the third and final debate. Marley?
Katie and Zoe, good evening. Roughly 50 people filled this lecture hall tonight in the Art and Journalism building for the presidential debate. Now, some of the candidates do include Jillian Zimmerman, Aiden Midland, and Jake Biller. Each of these candidates are representing three slates: Elevate, United, and Empower. Ball State senior Jack Scott came to the debate tonight because he believes it's crucial to have an SGA president who takes this seriously.
I would really want whoever that wants to be a part of the community in SGA, I want them to at least have a passion for it. I want them to look into the future.
Now, voting won't open until next Monday, February 25th, and students will receive an email that has a link to a voting website. But if they do not choose to vote that way, they can go to the polling stations at Bracken Library, the Letterman Building, and the Student Center. And the results will be given the next day, roughly around 5 p.m. Reporting live in Muncie, Marley Thomas.
All right, thank you, Marley, and we will continue to bring you updates as that story progresses.
One of America's popular coffee shops is coming back to Muncie. Dunkin' was originally in Muncie during the 70s and late 80s along Wheeling Avenue, according to Muncie Star Press archives. But it was evident many social media users wanted the company to return. Muncie's Dunkin' will be a next-generation store, according to representatives for the company, providing customers with the brand's U.S. store of the future experience through a modern atmosphere, new technology, and design elements such as cold beverage tap system to make running on Dunkin' faster and more convenient than ever before. Dunkin' offers coffee drinks, sweet treats, and bakery items, according to its website. There are more than 11,300 Dunkin' locations around the world, including more than 8,500 locations in 41 U.S. states.
You know, Katie, I am incredibly excited for this Dunkin' to open.
Mm-hmm.
I love Dunkin', and there's none around here.
There isn't.
I'm so excited.
Though.
I'm so excited. I can't wait. But unfortunately, my favorite drink is iced coffee. So we're going to need to see.
That right
I know
now.
we're
It's
going to
too
need to see
cold
a warm
outside.
up and temperatures before this opens up. So
Absolutely.
hopefully, Jordan can tell us something good in weather.
Well, guys, I'm kind of not going to be able to deliver on that tonight. But currently outside, we're sitting at the freezing point for the majority of the state, which is going to be important when this winter storm makes its way into our area. That being said, right now on radar, as we can see, you might have some snow showers out there near Terre Haute, but nothing quite yet. Looking down to our south, though, as we can see, here comes this system. It's going to push its way up into Muncie, bringing us some snow, freezing rain, and some rain by the time it gets here. This system is looking like pretty potent, so that's why we're under a winter storm advisory starting from 10 p.m. until 10 a.m. Wednesday. On my full forecast, we're looking at one winter storm moving in overnight, when we can see a chance for 60s, and when we might be able to see some storms, all in my full forecast.
Thank you, Jordan. It was anger then shock that clouded Patasha Barnes-Griffin as she's tried to figure out how to respond to a letter she never expected to receive. It was a normal day for Griffin as she checked the mail at the YWCA. She received an anonymous letter applauding her for the work she's done for her community. It also mentioned the rise of women that look like her is alarming.
The letter is disheartening. It was a little shock, but it was also like you're doing something that has made you're pissing somebody off, or, So I took it as a compliment and as I took it a compliment and as an offense. But it just makes me keep doing what you're doing. You don't stop. You keep fighting.
After thinking about the letter, Griffin has decided to run for City County Council at large and make a difference. And now turning to the race for the White House, Senator Bernie Sanders is throwing his hat into the presidential ring once again. The Vermont senator and self-described Democratic socialist announced Tuesday morning that he will seek the Democratic presidential nomination in 2020. It's the second go-round for Sanders. In 2016, he finished second to Hillary Clinton for the Democratic nomination following a spirited campaign battle. Analysts say Sanders entering the race likely makes him an early frontrunner. But he also faces a more crowded field than he did in 2016, including Sanders. 10 major Democrats have either announced their candidacy or formed exploratory committees, and several others are still contemplating bids.
Former FBI acting director Andrew McCabe acknowledging the first time publicly he's been interviewed by special counsel Robert Mueller's team. In a new book, McCabe, who spent 2 decades at the FBI, describes briefing top congressional leaders about the investigations into Trump. Jessica Schneider has more.
Andrew McCabe making it clear that in the days surrounding James Comey's firing as FBI director, McCabe and others within the Justice Department explored the possibility the president was working as a Russian agent.
Did you suspect the president might actually be working for Russia?
We thought that might be possible. We had information that led us to believe that there might be a threat to national security. In this case, that the president himself might in fact be a threat to the United States national security.
That fear prompted McCabe to launch a counterintelligence investigation into President Trump in May 2017. McCabe said while Comey's firing sealed the deal for a decision to launch a probe, the case had been building for some time, telling The Atlantic, "The fact is, we were building to this point for months before Jim was fired." McCabe now says he briefed the top members of Congress, the so-called Gang of Eight, on the same day Robert Mueller was appointed as special counsel to alert the top Democrats and Republicans that he had launched probes into the president.
I told Congress what we had done.
Did anyone object?
That's the important part here, Savannah. No one objected, not on legal grounds, not on constitutional grounds, and not based on the facts.
The White House again today reiterated its rebuttal of everything Andrew McCabe has asserted.
He's someone who has, as we know, has been a political hack, and you shouldn't put politics into the FBI.
As McCabe makes the media rounds on his book tour, he's also talking about what's not detailed in his new book, his discussions with Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein about invoking the 25th Amendment, and Rosenstein's alleged offer to wear a wire to record the president.
No, it wasn't a joke. He was deadly serious.
But McCabe later stressing no plans were ever set in motion.
It's something that we talked about but never seriously considered. It seemed like such a overwhelmingly risky and unnecessary thing to do.
Andrew McCabe's memoir, The Threat, How the FBI Protects America in the Age of Terror and Trump, has been an instant bestseller.
And one popular business will soon be closing. Just ahead, which business is getting tied up in problems?
And while one business is closing, another one is reporting record sales. The details after the break.
No more, he didn't mean it.
No more, she seems fine to me.
No more, not my problem.
No more, she was drunk.
No more, he was drunk.
No more, she was asking for it.
No more, he didn't mean it.
No more, why didn't she tell anyone? No more, we don't talk about that.
No more bystanding.
No more ignorance.
No more excuses.
No more.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
After retiring from the NFL, I've been able to spend a lot more time coaching my daughter's basketball teams. It's something I love to do. Through our games and our tournaments, we see all types of coaching, good and bad. And it begs the question, do we really know who's coaching our kids? Do they have the proper training and screening it would take for me to be comfortable with my daughters playing for that coach? Our Youth Basketball Association made the decision to use trusted coaches to screen and train all of our coaches. I'm a trusted coach. Are you?
Welcome back. Awards are hard to come by, but it's an exceptional feeling when you are recognized for hard work.
NewsLink Indiana's Camille Breck has a story on how one high school sophomore was rewarded.
A mentor can give you just the push you need, especially when you're not confident you will succeed.
I really thought I wasn't going to win, but I was surprised how I did.
Gianna Taylor is a 16-year-old sophomore at Muncie Central. She's heavily involved with the Boys and Girls Club in Muncie, which awarded her with Youth of the Year.
It was pretty amazing. I really was so proud of myself, and I was so excited for it.
Taylor may be proud, but those around her are even prouder, especially her mentor in the Boys and Girls Club, Gabby Smith.
You know, I just watched her really make this opportunity her baby and really just grow from it as a person.
The pair have only known each other since August, but have been best friends ever since.
It's been really fun. We're like two peas in a pod. I'm just the adult.
Perhaps the biggest reason Gianna secured the award was because of her work ethic and personality.
I just seen her take off, like practicing her speech. I watched her work on her essays. She's outgoing, she's spunky, she's funny, she can light up a room anywhere she goes, and I really love that about her.
Taylor isn't used to being recognized.
It was my first time actually winning an award, so it was pretty amazing, and I was happy. Like, all my family members was happy for me, and to let them know, like, I'm making it and I'm making it a difference.
But she has big plans for her future.
I want to go to college. I want to go to IU, Bloomington, and be a pediatrician.
In the nearer future, Taylor will compete for the Boys and Girls Club Youth of the Year at the state level this spring. In Muncie, Camille Breck, NewsLink, Indiana.
The next Youth of the Year competition Taylor will compete in is in Indianapolis in May. If she makes it past the state level, she'll go to nationals, which takes place in Washington, D.C.
The discount shoe store Payless Shoe Source filed for bankruptcy again Monday, and this time it's for real. The company is closing all 2,500 of its stores in the U.S. and Canada, putting about 16,000 people out of work. The news comes less than 2 years after Payless emerged from its previous Chapter 11 filing. The shoe retailer lost $63 million in 2018 and may not be able to pay the $1.3 million it owes employees in severance payments. Stores in the U.S. and Canada should all be closed for good by the end of May.
The big holiday season, which included Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's Day, was good to Walmart. The big box retailers' all-important holiday sales blew past expectations. Walmart reports in-store sales grew more than 4% compared with the same time last year. The new grocery pickup and expanded delivery programs are a reason for this digital boost. The holiday quarter started in October of last year and ended January 25th.
It's one of the happiest jets in the sky. This new Airbus jet looks like a friendly beluga whale. It's even named the Airbus Beluga XL. It's been one of the aviation world's most anticipated new planes. The jet completed a key round of testing and is on track to enter into service later this year. Passengers won't be able to fly on the smiling plane, however. This is a super transporter cargo plane. It was designed by Airbus to fly its aircraft components between European production sites and its final assembly lines around the world. And now turning over to weather. I'm afraid that we are not seeing any warm temperatures soon, but
no, we are not.
Hopefully Jordan can tell us more.
Yeah, we'll stay pretty consistent until about the morning, and we'll start seeing a warm up. Sure, I'll have when we're supposed to see this winter storm in our full forecast.
For those who serve today, and those who served before them, for those whose sacrifice will never end. The Gary Sinise Foundation shows its gratitude through entertainment, outreach, and life-changing support. We can never give enough, but we can always give a little more. Find out how you can donate at GarySiniseFoundation.org.
Sometimes there's no do-over. Some things you can't rewind. That's when an extra safety step could mean the difference between a close call and a call to 911. Simple steps save lives. Learn more at poolsafely.gov.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. Now, I mentioned earlier, I don't think it's time yet for iced coffee season, and I'm a little bit upset.
No, it's never time for iced coffee. Well, I'm not a coffee drinker, so I can't really say when it's time for coffee season. So.
Well, I think it's always coffee season, but unfortunately,
Especially iced coffee.
Unfortunately, it's a little chilly. My hands get kind of cold carrying it right now.
Yeah, so hot chocolate is definitely in due, that's for sure. But currently outside, we are sitting at a nice 32 degrees with winds out of the east, picking up at 13 miles an hour, making it feel like 23 degrees out there. Currently, though, snow's coming in. It's right now making its way through Evansville, but it will be here by midnight in the overnight hours. That's prompted a winter weather advisory once again till 10 p.m. tonight to 10 a.m. Wednesday for snow, rain, and freezing rain. Breaking it down for you, 2 a.m. we'll start to see the snow make its way here. Depending on how dry the atmosphere is at the lower levels, it'll depend how much snow we start to see or how quickly it comes in. Going into about 6 a.m., we'll start to see this rain-snow line start to push its way here, and we'll start to see most of our freezing rain, and eventually turn over all into rain by at least 8 o'clock. And scattered showers will stick out through most of the day, throughout the day on Wednesday, but I will believe will stay mostly cloudy throughout the day. That being said, looking at snowfall totals, I expect maybe northeastern portions of our viewing area to see maybe 2 to 4 inches of snow. We might have to back that down just a little bit based on new data, but I can definitely say down towards the south, maybe 1 to 2 inches of snow. Icing, however, will be a bigger story, maybe 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch, and it's kind of hard to track down where this ice will be. So I pretty much put the entire area as a likely area that we will be seeing some ice. But for tonight, expect a rain-snow mixture. Will drop down to about 28 degrees. Winds will start to pick up out of the east around 8 to 13 miles an hour. That is. But for your threat levels, see a 3 for snow. I bumped up the freezing rain because it looks like we might see more of a freezing rain threat. Wind will definitely be a factor, but definitely your morning commute will be awful, especially with all the potholes that we're seeing out there. It is going to be disastrous. Speaking of your morning commute, maybe if you're waiting to take the kids outside, it'll still be raining and snowing about 7 a.m., about 34 degrees. 3 p.m. we'll see mostly cloudy conditions, maybe a stray shower or so around 40 degrees. But for tomorrow, though, warm up, lower 40s, 41 degrees. But winds will shift out of the south to 12 to 17 miles an hour. And we'll stick that snow shower just in case at the very beginning. For your 7-day forecast, man, it's looking great past Thursday. Friday, jump into the lower 40s, 44. But Saturday, 61 degrees. But when it gets this warm in February, you know what that means. It is rain time, and we might see some storms if we're pumping into the upper 60s or lower 60s. That is, rain sticks around Sunday morning, but it leaves, and we'll see clear conditions Monday going into Tuesday. But it looks like the long-term pattern is going to be nice and below average. So get used to these warm temperatures while you can, because it's not going to be around any much longer.
You know, Jordan, this rain might not be what I wanted, but I am excited to see temperatures in the 60s, and I cannot even tell you how excited and ready I am for that.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be so warm coming up. I'm really excited for that. It feels like March weather.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
And for me though, being in the 60s and possible storms, you know, it's nice to be maybe report on some severe weather and some storms, or maybe go out storm chasing depending on where it is.
Well,
for
thank
sure.
you so much, Jordan.
Yes, thank you. And hopefully that accumulation and mix that we might have tomorrow, hopefully that doesn't affect any showers or any teams that might be traveling. So what do we have coming up in sports?
Well, that's right. The Ball State basketball team has not been playing cold, however, as they had won 3 straight, trying to win 4 tonight. We'll have that and more when we come back.
Isn't this perfect?
It was my pleasure. May I?
Adam, I can't thank you enough for saving me from that sweepstakes scam. I could have lost everything.
It was a classic cat and mouse game. Remember, you never have to pay to play.
You're my hero.
Huh.
After all these years. What's the matter, Adam? Cat got your tongue?
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough.
I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self, and I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore, and frustration a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy and giving up impossible. I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought and unconventional methods common. I'm a teacher. I make more.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Blake Dollier with sports. Freshman Telma Augustdottir has been a diamond in the rough during the Ball State's 6-game losing streak. NewsLink Indiana's Ben Shuren has the story.
MAC conference play has brought out a new scoring threat for Ball State women's basketball. Freshman Telma Augustdottir. Not only she had to adjust to playing college basketball, but a move to Ball State from Iceland.
Mostly just a smooth transition. We speak English a lot back home, or like we've had to learn it like from an early age, so I don't think that's been a problem really. The rules are different, so like I've had to adapt to them a little bit different, and yeah, just like I said, everybody's stronger, more physical.
Head coach Brady Sallee says that Augustdottir's transition has been seamless, citing her fast ability to learn.
She understands everything you need from her. You know, there's never a question of, well, how do I do that, or why do I need to do that? It's just very simply, all right, let me figure out a way to do that.
Augustdottir has emerged into another potent scoring forward for Ball State. She averages 10 points per game in conference play, including a 23-point performance against Bowling Green.
Her progression's been through the roof. You know, she's gone from, you know, early on, that unsure freshman that was trying to figure out her way, figure out her role, figure out what we wanted from her. At times she passed up a lot of shots, and about midway through the season, you started seeing that turn the corner a little bit.
Just being more like, not more, but just telling me like to be more aggressive. I mean, I knew what I could do, but I just felt like I was holding myself back, like because it was different from back home. Just driving more to the basket, that opened up my shots more.
Augustdottir says she's working on her rebounding more, but is confident that that'll come with playing more aggressive. In Muncie, Ben Shuren, NewsLink Indiana.
The Ball State men's basketball team hits the road tonight to take on Miami of Ohio. The Cardinals seek to win their 4th straight game and strike back as Miami defeated Ball State 71-65 earlier this season. Let's take a look at some first half highlights. Going into the game, Ball State had their sights set on beating Miami for the first time since January 2017. The Cardinals got off to a slow start, down 3, 7 minutes into the first half, until Taylor Persons connects from the left corner, tying it up at 10. Then a couple minutes later, Miami heats up as Abdoulaye Haruna caps off the 9-0 run for the Redhawks with this three-pointer from the wing. As we wind down things in the first half, 2:50 to go, Ball State's Bracken Hazen, coming off the injury, hits the three from the elbow to bring the lead within 5. Next possession, KJ Walton drives through 2 defenders and takes it to the rack, narrowing the gap to just 2. And then with 53 seconds to go, Redhawks sophomore Jalen Attaway connects on the fadeaway jumper, giving Miami the momentum heading into the second half. Redhawks led 41-35 at the half. Ball State went on to lose tonight's contest, however, 69-66. Now, it's great to see the bright future of that Ball State women's basketball team, but for the men's team, it's not looking so good as they had won 3 in a row, but lost yet another close contest tonight.
You know, the men's basketball team has had a really weird season this year because, you know, we beat Loyola of Chicago, which obviously was just in the NCAA tournament.
Right, was in the NCAA tournament and made quite the Cinderella run last year.
Yeah, absolutely. But then we've lost to some teams that I think people didn't really expect. It's definitely been an interesting season.
It's been an up and down year, and we really look to improve next season, trying to get the recruitment process restarted, as we're going to lose quite the amount of seniors and have a couple juniors that are going to graduate the following year.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Blake. And a popular artist is making pop music history.
A look at who just hit the top billboards ahead in trending. Stay with us.
Hey, did you know 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Let's go to theshelterpetproject.org and meet a few who are in a shelter near you. Harlow, oh, she's one great listener who loves to hear all your stories. My kind of cat. Cerulo is a sweet, goofy boy who's eager to please. Sounds just like another dog I know. So go to theshelterpetproject.org, search your local shelters and rescues, and go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Problems. The ones nobody talks about at cocktail parties. We go looking for them. No matter the obstacles, no matter the odds, we surround a community's most critical problems, and we fight. United Way fights for the health, education, and financial stability of every person in every community. Will you?
It doesn't take a scientist to cure hunger or a fancy economist to create safe housing. It takes imagination, creativity, sweat equity. When I think of kids going to school hungry, hunger, homelessness, in this land of plenty, seriously? Come on, we could fix this. Help out, or don't. The choice is yours.
Here's your sandwich, miss.
Oh, thank you.
And your burger.
Awesome, thank you.
And your bowl of boiling water, sir.
Welcome back. It's time now to take a look at what's trending.
Joining us now is NewsLink Indiana's Annie Keister. What do you have for us?
Well, guys, I have some sad news tonight for the fashion industry as longtime icon Karl Lagerfeld passed away yesterday in Paris. Lagerfeld joined design powerhouse Chanel back in 1983 as their creative director. However, his clothing influence dates back to 1965 when he took the same position at Fendi. Lagerfeld was known not only for his creations with clothing, but as one of the most outspoken and inspiring clothing designers of all time. At age 83, Lagerfeld said, quote, "Ideas come to you when you work." And moving on a little more lighthearted, Ariana Grande's Thank You Next is now #1 spot on the Billboard 200 charts. The album dropped just February 8th, but has already resulted in the biggest streaming week ever for a pop album. This is Grande's second time hitting #1 in under 6 months, following her album Sweetener, which dropped the charts back in September. Grande is the first female artist to do this since Olivia Newton-John back in 1975. Grande spoke in an interview on her recent success and how it affects her career.
I didn't come into this business being driven towards things like that. Like, I just wanted to sing.
And I can say I've been one of the many, many streamers on that album as well.
Yeah, I have too. I'm obsessed with Ariana Grande. She's an amazing artist. I love her.
Yeah, I have never been like super in favor or against Ariana Grande, but this last album came out and I'm obsessed with it.
I have been listening to it everywhere, in the car, in my room.
Absolutely.
It just fits anywhere.
Oh yeah, on repeat. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Annie. And now let's take a final look at weather with Jordan.
Yep. Thanks, guys. The weather was pretty boring up until Wednesday, but we're going to see snow move in Wednesday morning. Another system movements on Saturday where we could see temperatures jump up into the 60s, and eventually it all cools down towards the end of the beginning of next week.
All right, well, thank you so much. I know we're looking forward to those 60-degree temperatures, even if they're brief. And that is all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to join us again tomorrow for our midday show streaming live on the NewsLink Indiana Facebook page.
And for news anytime, anywhere, go to ballstatedaily.com. Have a great night.